Good morning, everybody. I said it again. Good morning, everybody. Yes, all right. Fourth day of VMworld. You gotta warm up the crowd a little bit. It's everybody is tired. Don't worry. I'm gonna try to make it quick and lively, if possible. So, few questions first. Anybody in this room? First few rows don't answer because I already know the answer. This is my team, by the way. So that's going to be easy. Who already knows about end-user computing business within VMware? If you don't raise your hand. All right, end-user computing. And more specifically, Workspace ONE. So if you look at device management, VMware acquired a company in 2014, which was called AirWatch. We used to be part of that company, and we used to be part of VMware. Then we left VMware and created mobility services company. And our job was to implement MDM product. Now we call it UEM product, Unified Endpoint Management. The goal is to manage a device. So first it was iOS, Android, now it's Windows, it's Mac, it's transformation of the desktop, Chrome OS devices, etc. And at that time, we were seeing that organization wanted to shift from one EMM to another one. Sorry, I use another acronym, EMM, UEM, EMM, they're all the same. It's just management of devices. They don't wanted to shift. They were buying one, and then a few years later, they wanted to shift. The problem with migrating device from one system to another one is hard because it's the end user who has to do it. And today, I'm going to explain you how we can simplify that. So, by the way, I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, so my name is Thibaut Bellon. I'm co-founder and CEO at Mobility. And today, what we're going to talk about is really our product, which is called Exodus, which is going to help organizations empower the migration of the devices. So, as I said, at the beginning, you've got your EMM solution, you choose it, you configure your devices, great. Then you want to move to another one. So if you look at the EMM market today, obviously VMware Workspace ONE, another one Microsoft, you got Avanti with VMware, and you got others, right? And if you want to migrate your devices, the end user has to do it. And that's a very, very difficult problem because you can't tell each and every one of your end users to just do some step on the device. You can't script it. It's not a Windows device. It's iOS, it's Android, Mac. You can script in a way, but you can't script. So it's the end user who has to do it. And you don't want to have an IT person standing behind every user telling them how to migrate the device. You don't want to have to give a documentation of 15 pages for the end user to just review and then just call support eventually after the second page because they already lost. So the goal is to make sure you build a system, you build a solution that's going to empower the end user to do the migration himself in a very, very easy way. And that's what Exodus is doing. First thing, three advantages actually. First one is you're going to keep track of the device. Because when you migrate a device from one system, when it's not yet enrolled in a new system, it's in a limbo mode. It doesn't exist anywhere. Not on the first one, not on the second one. And then you've got like an asset of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in the wind. And the CFO is not going to be really happy about that. So you want to be able to keep track of that device. You want to be able to save some time. Again, we're talking about resources you need to put behind users to help them migration. You don't want to do that. You just want to let the user do it himself. And then if at some point, if you needed some help, you're going to be there to help him. But that's, let the IT, let the technology work for you and do the job for you rather than putting people and human resources behind. And then the last thing is saving money. If you think about how much money you would need to invest in people in terms of building content and putting people to help the end user do the migration, it's huge. When you use a product like Exodus, it's simple, it's cheap, but it has a great value. So cheap does not mean not good. It means it's not expensive, but it has an awesome value for the organization because the end user is going to do everything themselves. Quickly, just checking time, we're good. What do we have? We've got an admin console, obviously, for the admins to be able to see exactly the stage of the migration that each device is at the very specific moment. And more specifically, we got an app on the device. And that changes everything. Because what you want to do is having the end user in an application and having guide through this whole migration, and you want him to do next, 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 done, right? That's what you want him to do. So admin console, companion app, and I'm going to go quickly on this one. So the companion app, the goal for the end user is open it, and then you have got a step-by-step process. The end user opens it, we've got a welcome message, animated one, tell him what's going to happen, checking battery life, checking the network, checking all different parameters to just make sure it's going to be all right during the migration. It's going to happen in a few seconds, but if he loses network or if he doesn't have enough battery, you don't want him to have his device reboot in the middle of the migration. But even if it was going to happen, the system has been built to understand that and to take the user back to where he left it when he reopens the app the next time. So it's very, very simple for him. Unenrollment, re-enrollment, and then congratulations message for the end user. Simple as that. What do we do? iOS, Android, macOS. So if you're not into your UEM business, some of these will not speak to you. If you are, they will definitely speak to you. Every iOS, every type of device operating system has a different way of management. DEP, legacy mode, Android enterprise, Android device admin, work profile, etc., etc. Each use case is different, and we need to be able to migrate all devices efficiently for all of these use cases. It's not about, when you've got a T-shirt which is like one size fits all. Well, it fits all, but in reality, it doesn't fit anybody, right? So it's the same. If you want to have a tailored migration for the end user, you need a system that's going to fit everybody, so very specific use case addressed by one specific product. In terms of how the system works, it's really simple. We integrate with all the different EMM APIs. So we've got a system integrating with the EMM API in the backends. There's a front end for the administrator. There's a companion app for the end user. Everything runs on Cubes in Google Cloud and could run on any other platform anyway. It's very simple. We power up an instance very easily. Everything is containerized. For the admins, data is containerized. As soon as the migration is done, instance has been destroyed and data has been removed. And it's really the companion app on the device who is going to be the link with our console and telling when to unenroll, when to re-enroll, and what to push for the devices. So now, and I know you're craving for it. Yes! It's time to see it in action. So you've got here, I'll try to make it fit on one simple screen. So you've got here on the left-hand side the Exodus product, the admin console. You're seeing the EMM solution you want to migrate from. So what we say, the source, and then afterwards you're seeing the target. So in that case, we're going to migrate from Microsoft to Workspace ONE. You put the information, the required information, into the console, just to connect to your Microsoft Intune tenant. You're being asked to log in with an administrator. I spared you the process of logging in just to fasten that. Then you've got the target environment where you want your device to be migrated to, in that case, Workspace ONE. In that case, again, we're putting the relevant information to connect to the APIs of Workspace ONE. So it's just standard configuration for anybody who knows a bit about the different APIs, Graph API on Microsoft, Workspace ONE APIs. Once you've done that, system's going to automatically connect to the source tenant, in that case Intune, which you have here, and it's going to retrieve that device. And we've got that device for our infamous Rick Sanchez, who is enrolled already. And what we're going to do is we're going to migrate him to Workspace ONE. Now, we just identified that device is an Apple DEP device. So if you know about DEP, I'm not going to explain the whole process of DEP right now, but if you know about DEP, it's important that you always assign the serial number of a device to the correct environment. So the system will also give you that list of serial numbers to reassign in the ABM portal. All right. Unfortunately, there wasn't APIs at the ABM portal, so this is still a manual action because we can't just automate it. But it's very simple because we just give you the CSV file that you have to just copy and paste in the Apple portal, reassign to the correct EMM solution, and then you're ready to start your migration. Okay. DEP, for people who don't know it, the Apple enrollment program that helps you enrolling your devices in an easy way. So now we've got our device synced. We're going to see it in the Workspace ONE console just below. that the device has been synced with the Apple DEP portal, so we know that the device is now linked with Workspace ONE with a DEP profile, so it's good. In that case, we're going to migrate this DEP profile, but we're not going to wipe it. So if you know about DEP, you know it starts with a factory reset device. But in that case, we don't want to do a factory reset device because we want the end user to keep these messages, these pictures of the dogs in the family, and all these apps, because these are the important ones. And if you tell your end users they're going to remove all the pictures and SMS just because the IT organization has decided to change the solution, well, you're going to have a tough crowd in front of you. So no, we don't want to wipe them. That's why in that case, we're not going to do it, but we're still going to keep the supervision profile, which is the most important thing. Device is there, everything is ready. Start migration. The user opens the app, checks connectivity, battery status, and everything. Then do the unenrollment. Then you click on re-enrollment. At this point, we automatically retrieve the MDM profile from Workspace ONE. No authentication for the end user, nothing. Profile get downloaded. Click on it, install. Done. As simple as that. The user did not log into any system, he just opened this app. The app was pre-configured with all the information required to connect to the Exodus tenant. And then we automatically retrieve the new MDM profile from Workspace ONE, download it on the device, the end user just clicked on install, and it was re-enrolled. And now all the configurations start to push down again. And you will see in Intune, the device is now unenrolled. You see in Workspace ONE, the device is now enrolled. And the end user is, has just done his job within a matter of seconds. So if you think about that, without having to read the documentation and do all the manual steps, the speed that you gain in your migration, it's tremendous. And the experience for the end user in the end is just awesome. And that's because it's a very simple process. That's also why we can do migration, big migration in a very, very short time frame. You've got, 100 devices, you've got 1,000 devices, you've got 10,000 devices, you've got 100,000 devices. It doesn't matter. You could technically do all of them in one day. Thing is, afterwards, obviously, you also need a bit of communication internally, educate the users because they're going to do it when they want, when they can, and it's up to them to do it. So there's still some communication. It's not a complete miracle. It doesn't do everything, but it really does something great, which is taking the end user by the hand and doing the migration for him. So thank you very much for listening. If you've got any more questions, I'm staying here. Otherwise, please go to the exodus.tools website if you want to know more. And I wish you a very, very awesome end of VMworld and a good trip back home. Thank you very much.